5 things that I wished I knew when I was younger. It's often a shame that it takes men such a long time to grow up or mature or be curious about the stuff that I talk about, because it would save us all so much pain and money and just time. So these are 5 things I wish I knew when I was younger. Somebody would have told me, and some of them people did tell me, but I was too much of a shithead to not pay any attention to it because of my ego. And I think that's one of the biggest problems that guys have. One of the biggest challenges we have as men is the ego, the lack of curiosity about what works and what doesn't work with women. And it's not the same thing with other things. Like, we were curious about other things, like we can be curious about sports, we'll learn about that. We're curious about cars, we'll learn about that. But when it comes to women, for some reason, we all pretend we got it down. So ego is not your amigo, and that's for sure. I think the first thing that I learned, or that I wish I knew, was to vet women ruthlessly. We fall in love with women way faster than they fall in love with us, on average. And we don't vet them. What do we fall in love with? Their ass. Their how beautiful they are, how sweet they are, and we don't vet them. We meet a woman, have a great date with her, and we start dreaming about what's next. We start dreaming about the white picket fence and getting married to her and all this bullshit that to be honest, I don't understand where that came from. I guess it's societal programming or something, but I don't think men were like that before. If you look at the men used to be, hell, even my grandfather back in the day, I think that guy just was gone most of the time. Who knows what the hell he was doing, So he was gone, living his life, and for better or for worse, people stayed together more. So I think that would be the first thing. Is to vet women ruthlessly, and I mean ruthlessly. If she doesn't, even on paper, if she doesn't line up with what you want, move on. Let her move on and find somebody else. Choosing the wrong woman can cost you more than years. It can cost you your peace, obviously your money. You can go broke with that easily. But things that are way more important, like your children. The way that a woman is with you is when she's angry, when she's not happy, when she's upset. Imagine that tenfold when she divorces. Or when she leaves and breaks up. So choose a woman for her easygoing behavior, her femininity, her levels of attraction towards you. So that would be the first thing. Vet ruthlessly, because you can lose everything, and it ain't just money, man. It can be way worse than that. The next thing I wish that I knew when I was younger, number 2, is you can't win over a woman. So take your shot with all of them. And what I mean by that, it's like either she likes you or she doesn't, man. Women don't just because you bring her flowers and kiss her ass, all of a sudden she's going to like you. That's probably going to make her more grossed out, but you get my drift. Attraction is not something that you can create. It can be discovered. You can allow it to discover, and a pretty woman, an 8 out of 10 can like you just as easily as a complete water buffalo. So you know what I mean? It's like, so just take your shot. Take your shot, because it's not a decision that they make. They're very emotional creatures, and oftentimes they don't even know. They can have all kinds of rules up and down. I'm not going to kiss on the first date. I want a guy who's 6'2", and she's 5, right? She's going to have all these rules, and they go right out the fucking window if they like you. So take your shot, have fun with them, because why not? The third thing that I wish I knew when I was younger is be a challenge. Be a challenge. I think that's the biggest thing right now that's missing from male and female interaction. Men are soft. They're soft as hell. This whole idea of, men getting in touch with their feminine side and vulnerability and all that stuff is fantastic, but not when it comes to, maintaining relationships. If you have a woman that you've had for a long time, if she's in love with you, if your relationship is at least an 8 out of 10, maybe you can be a little bit vulnerable. But what you got to ask yourself is, I'm getting off the subject a little bit from challenge, and I'll come right back to it. But I just thought of something. So oftentimes when I have this conversation with a woman, and I'll say something like, "You would want your man to cry, wouldn't you?" And they go, "Oh, absolutely, of course. I'll even be more attracted to him. I want a man with vulnerability. I want a man to be in touch with his emotions." Am I? Okay, let me ask you something. What if he cried every day for no reason? And then you can see it on their face. They practically, they want to throw up. So between never crying or crying once, right? Between crying once and crying every day is her line of ick. Why push your luck? Don't do it. If you have issues, if you have problems, if your dog died, whatever, share it with your buddies. If you don't have a group of men, you're fucked. So share it with your buddies. You have to have friends. That works a lot better than share it with your woman. Not to say that if something real happens, you can't emote. 100%. I've been there, done that. And I've been in situations where I've had really, really hard things happen to me, and my girl was there, and it didn't belittle me, it didn't take me down, but these were fucking big deals. This is not, I don't know what to do, I'm lost in life, whatever. I'm anxious, I'm sad, whatever the fuck you're crying about. It has to be a real thing. If it's not a real thing, stop it. So going back to challenge is not playing games. Challenge is not being a prick for being a prick's sake. In fact, being a prick for no reason might work a little bit, but it doesn't keep you the girl. Being a prick doesn't keep you a good, solid, well-adjusted woman. It might keep you the basket case. So being a challenge means don't be so easy to figure out. Every guy, if you're dating or you meet a beautiful woman, every guy is throwing their dick at them. They're just, "You're so beautiful, you're this and that, and I want to take you out, let me take you out to a steak dinner." Let her earn you. People appreciate, not just women, men and women appreciate things that are earned. Let her earn you. That's what being a challenge is. It means not being a pushover. It means having boundaries and you setting them, not from a dick point of view, but you just set them, and she knows that if she crosses them, you're gone, and that you won't give a shit, and that your life, you'll be a little bit bummed out that you lost her, but you know what? Life goes on, and with or without her, you are living a fantastic life. And you love your life, and you're excited about your life, and she's more than welcome to be part of it, as long as she is an asset, not a liability. Great women are amazing assets. They help you build. They help you more than anything. A shitty woman is a horrible liability. She'll take you down. She'll take your family down. It's the absolute worst thing that you can possibly encounter. So be a challenge, and be a challenge so that the good ones stick around. I know that sounds a little odd, but if you're a challenge, she'll appreciate you more. Which takes me to the fourth thing that I wish I knew when I was younger, which is you must create a life that you're excited about. And that life has to be exciting with or without her. It's for you. It's not for her. She gets to join you. So create a life that you're excited about. Okay? If you create a life that you're excited about, you don't have to go, you have to go chasing chicks. They just show up. I'm telling you, it's like they're just, you're walking through the woods and you're a hunter, and all of a sudden, you're not looking for the deer, there'll just be a deer in the meadow. I mean, that's what it's like when you're having a life that you're excited about. They're fucking everywhere. And you just have to know enough at that particular moment so that you don't screw up, so you don't say something stupid, so that you don't get you get overly emotional when you go on a date, etc., which takes me to the fifth thing that I wish, that I knew, which was that it's all learnable. So when you're creating a life that you're excited about, you have to know what to say, what to do with women, how to maintain, how to create attraction. And I mean create attraction is to build it up. Either nature has a way of already taking care of attraction for you, but we can definitely lose it, and we can definitely do things to increase it. That being said, this is all learnable, but our ego is often too big and gets in the way. And what I mean by this, understanding women is all learnable. I'm telling you, I talk to guys all the time in their 70s and their 80s who are fucking clueless about women. They have no idea like what makes them tick. They're frustrated. They're just like, she's crazy. She doesn't. She makes no sense. They make sense. They're just different. They're not. Cute dudes. It's one of the things that we have to remember, is that women are just different than us, and it's completely learnable, and it's actually predictable. If you act like a pussy, she'll dump you. If you're too easy, you become boring. If you're boring, that might as well be the worst thing you could do often. I ask the question of women all the time. It's like, what would you rather have? A guy that makes pretty decent money but is fun, or a multi-bazillionaire who is boring as fuck? And they always choose the guy who does okay. And I'm telling you, they don't just say that because it's the right thing to say. It's because it's the truth. So it's all learnable. When I got divorced, I decided, I was surprised. I was like, what the fuck? I used to always tell people, it's a thing that I remember thinking, it's like, man, men are always surprised. How is it that men are always surprised when they get divorced? They're the last ones to know. And then it happened to me. And I decided at that moment I was going to be 100% responsible for this, that it was 100% my fault. And I decided I'm going to fill in the knowledge gaps, because I had a lot of knowledge gaps. And it wasn't what I thought. Like, I thought the things that were missing from me were that I was the problem, that the way that I am naturally was the problem. No, that turned out not to be the problem as much. The problem was that I was, I was being a pussy. To put it in plain terms, I wasn't being myself. My natural self is actually not. So I decided to learn this shit and double down on who I was, and life changed. And this is why I started this whole thing. I was really hesitant to do a YouTube channel. I mean, this is not, it's not something that I ever thought about doing seriously. But then I wrote a book. And then a friend told me, you know what, you should probably do a YouTube channel. And I was like, ugh, I hem it hard. But then I kept seeing these videos of these pathetic so-called coaches and people in the red pill who are just poisoning men. Stop listening to that bullshit. Women are not that toxic. Yes, perhaps we have a few more, narcissists than we have in the past because of just social media and all this other bullshit, but there's a lot of good women out there. I'm telling you, because I talk to them all the time. They're great. You just have to do a lot more work on your side. You got to vet more. You got to stop pedestalizing. You got to cut some of these bitches out. And you got to, when you find one, you take care of her. You love her. And, you never stop being the guy she thinks you are. Because she is way smarter than you are when it comes to understanding emotions and your bullshit. And don't try to bullshit her emotions or your emotions, because she'll pick you up like that. So those are the five things. So number 1, vet ruthlessly. Number 2, attraction is not something that's a decision on her part. She can't help it. So go for it. Take your shot with all of them. The pretty ones, the ugly ones, the skinny ones, the fat ones, because you got a good chance with just about any of them. Number 3, be a challenge. Be different. Be exciting to her. She wants to be challenged. She wants to earn you. Number 4, create a life that you're excited about, because with or without her, you're gonna have a fun time. You're gonna have a beautiful life, and hopefully you'll have a wonderful woman with you. But if not, you'll be just fine. What number was I? So create a life that you're excited about, and then number 5. This is all learnable. These skills are all learnable. Everything. This is not rocket science. But you gotta admit, you gotta put your ego aside and say, fuck, I need help. I need to learn this. This is not just gonna happen because, whatever. Be a girl and say, like, because of the horoscope. No, fuck that. You're a man. You pick yourself up by the bootstraps, learn this shit, and go kick some ass, okay? Because it's doable and it's fun and it changes your life. All right. I wish you lots of luck. Please subscribe if you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.